Alright, hello and welcome to the part 5 of the AK-47 modeling series. Now, today we're gonna be finishing up this model. We're gonna be adding some bolts, some buttons, some more bolts, and 2 holes over here. So, stick to the end, it's gonna be pretty, I guess, easy. Now before we start, I would like to show you this microphone model that I made a few days ago, and I just wanted to ask if you would like to see a full in-depth tutorial of how I made this microphone. If yes, just type in the comments. I read every single one. And yeah, anyways, let's get back to the AK-47. Alright, so for the AK, it's fairly easy. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna create one bolt and I'm just going to shift duplicate it on according to the reference where it should be. So yeah, I've created one bolt like this, basically by creating a circle with 16 vertices, 16 segments, extruding, scaling down, and at the end just merging it at the center with one vertex. So once you've made one of your bolts, just look at the reference and start adding this bolt basically to the whole model. So I can see that one is over here, okay, one is over here. So I basically just add the bolts across the model, and once you have scattered all the bolts across the model, as you can see, I've added one over here, and of course on the other side I've added them as well. Now we're gonna make this bigger one. Yeah, don't mind this hole. This is just from the previous attempt where I screwed everything. So I left this because, well, it should be here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a circle with 16 vertices over here. I'm going to scale it down, and in the snapping mode, I'm gonna put it on face and align rotation to target. Now I'll turn it on and just snap it onto this face. So all you really gotta do, you gotta put this into local so it scales on the local z-axis. You're gonna fill this face and you're gonna basically you're gonna scale this like this, and you're going to bevel it a couple of times and merge everything, of course, and flip the faces, shade smooth. And now we're gonna make this small hole over here. So for that, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use a boolean. So let's make a simple boolean. Now this is an add-on, but I'm pretty sure you can do it with normal vanilla blender. And we're getting a shading issue right here. I'm gonna fix that by first, of course, applying the boolean. So apply the boolean, select this vertex over here, press your knife tool, press C for cut through, and cut it like this, and it should connect with this vertex, and it's gonna remove that shading issue. And you do the same thing on the other side like this, simply. And yeah, you might as well merge all the vertices if you need to. And now I'm just going to rotate a little bit so it looks a bit more natural. And just like that, we've created a simple bolt right here. So next up, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this small detail over here. I don't know what this thing is, but whatever it is, we're gonna need to add it. So let's add a circle with 16 vertices, rotated by x-axis by 90, scale it down. Make it so this circle matches like with the reference a little bit. And now you're gonna need to delete all these vertices on this side like this. Now select these, now select one vertex over here, extrude it like this, select another one, extrude it like this. Now fill this, and you are going to also fill this, and fill this face with the quad, and this with and gone, it doesn't matter. Now add a loop cut over here, select this, extrude this edge, okay, just a little bit. Now take everything, extrude it by the y-axis a little bit, add a loop cut over here so you define this line, and you're going to bevel it a little bit, just like this. Now select these faces without this one, extrude it once again, and I'll just select these two faces and move it by the y-axis just a little bit like this. And now we can take this bolt that we created over here. Okay, we can put the 3D cursor over here, take this shift duplicate, selection to cursor, and we're gonna have to mirror it by the y-axis just a little bit, put it onto the model and move it up like this and just join it with this object. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a small hole over here. We're gonna make this part. Now on the blueprint over here, the hole is much bigger, but it's because the blueprint itself is for AK-47, but I decided to make the hole for the AKM because in my opinion it looks much better and it's much easier to do, so we're gonna do it right now. So add your 3D cursor over here, add a plane, rotate it by x-axis on 90 degrees, scale it down and like roughly shape this thing. It's not difficult, just select these edges like this, select all these vertices, bevel it like this. You might as well want to take these vertices, pull them a little bit down, and now rotate this object just so it matches like so it aligns with the receiver, and now pull it a little bit down. Okay, so I'm gonna be using boolean for this, so just select the face over here, extrude it inwards a little bit, extrude, scale it down, extrude, scale it down. Might as well add a bevel over here. Great, and now you're just gonna flip all the faces and make a simple boolean like this, and of course apply the boolean. Now I'm gonna select the edge loop over here, slide it, and you're going to basically merge everything. Yeah, might as well add a bevel over here, shade smooth. Now if you get this, it means that you still gotta add some sharp edges like this, and now this looks better. Now I don't like the shape over here, I don't like how it's like visible and stuff, so I'm probably just gonna move around some of these loops. Now I've dissolved some edge loops over here because they were too visible, but I guess it doesn't matter at all. After we apply the texture, it's not going to be seen. It's because of the cavity and stuff. And now since I've edited this part a little bit, by deleting some loop cuts and stuff, I'm going to just outline this, basically the shape over here, and I'm going to make it a separate object right now. Then I'm just going to add some thickness into it like this, just so it's suitable for a boolean. Now we're going to mirror this by the y-axis just like this, just add a simple boolean like this, and yeah, if you get the shading issue, don't worry, just apply the boolean, delete this object, and as you can see here, we got some random sharp edges over here. So what you're gonna do, you're just gonna mark sharp this, and yeah, I see a useless edge over here, so we're just gonna slide it in and merge everything by distance, and once again apply the sharp. Now I've messed up with the textures. I've had to do these holes like when I was doing the lower receiver, but I guess it doesn't matter because we're just gonna retexture it. We're just gonna need to re-unwrap this thing, but that doesn't matter, I guess. Right now for the upper receiver, so you're simply gonna make a hole with a boolean like this, add your 3D cursor over here, add a cube which you're going to scale down, and you're going to roughly match it the hole. Now you want it to be a bit smaller than the hole itself, so we get the effect that there's actually the boolean. That's why we did the hole. Okay, and I'll just simply add a loop cut over here, move this vertex over here and this one over here, just like this. Now bevel the edges with a few segments, add a bunch of loop cuts over here, select these faces, inset individual, Alt E, extrude faces along normals, and you might as well bevel them all the way and merge everything. Now shade it smooth and you should get something like this, and we are done with the modeling part, so we can move on to texturing. So save the file, of course. Now for the texturing part, just copy paste all that you modeled today, and yes, I have the lower and upper receiver because I should have done these holes earlier, but since I didn't, we're gonna have to retexture this because I've applied a boolean to it. So yeah, just remove the materials from everything. I don't know why this stuff have materials. Right, once it's empty, you're just gonna have to add some extra seams on these sides, and of course a seam over here. And now for the unwrapping part, well, you can simply just unwrap these two now because these are fully ready. Now for the bolts, since you have joined them all, it's into one object as I told you, you can just enter UV Smart 3D Project and press OK, and that should do the job. For this thing, it's very simple, just mark seam all the sharp edges, and for this cylinder, just simply mark a seam over here, and this should do the job. So you unwrap, and to see if it actually worked, just create a material UV, head on to shading, add an image texture node, create new UV grid, color to color, and if you got a beautiful grid like this, it means you have unwrapped it correctly. And let's test it out on the bolts. The bolts also look good. The upper and lower receiver also look good, these parts as well. For this, nothing serious, we're just going to UV Smart 3D Project this because this is a pretty difficult object to unwrap. And for this, simply apply the UV and UV Smart 3D Project. I also don't want to unwrap that because it's not anything significant. As you can see, it did its job pretty well. Right, once you've done that, just head on and remove the UV material from every single object in your scene. And once you have removed the UV materials, just start adding materials according to what they are. So these are bolts, so you're gonna name them bolts. This is like a big bolt, so I'm just gonna call it a big bolt. Yeah. And once you have applied materials to the object, you can just press File, Export as an FBX, name it Part 5, and place it wherever you want it. So I'm just gonna export it like this and open up Substance Painter. And from here it's very easy, just click on New, select the file that you have just exported, document resolution to 2K, normal map format OpenGL, OK. And before you start doing anything, you're gonna bake this. So you head on to texture set settings, bake mesh maps, output size to 2K, and bake select textures, and you wait. And once you have baked everything, if everything looks good, it means you did correct. If you get any weird artifacts, it means you have screwed something in geometry or unwrapping, so head back to Blender and fix it. But for me it looks good, so I'm just going to apply the AK-47 metal material onto everything because, well, everything in here has that material. So yeah, once you've applied everything, you're just gonna hit File, Export Textures, select the directory wherever you want it, so Textures, Part 5, size, I'm gonna put 2K, and press Export. Now head back to Blender, copy this, head back to your AK-47, delete this, paste it back, and now you can start applying the texture. So select the lower receiver, for example, click on Principled BSDF, Control-Shift-T, it's a shortcut if you have your Node Wrangler add-on on. I really recommend you actually turn on that. Head on to directory where you have status or textures, part 5, and this is called low rec, so I'm just gonna search for low rec, apply, and yeah, just do it with all the objects. And just like that, the model is completely done. And in my opinion, it looks sick, okay? It looks very good. And yeah. So, as always, if you've enjoyed this series, if you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed this series, smash that like button, subscribe will be also appreciated, and type your suggestions in the comment on what should I model next like this. And of course, don't forget about the microphone. If you do want the microphone, just let me know in the comments. So yeah, I hope you have a nice day, and bye bye, see you next time.